Hello, I'm Lucia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a part 2 to my new tarot practice for 2026. And I'm going to be talking about my experience with the February envelope. And if you'd like to see the first video, the part 1, I will link that in the description box below. So the decks that I'm using, if this is the first time you're watching, really quickly is the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane. Pure Magic Oracle by Andres Ingracia. Forward by Judica Iles. The Santa Muerte Oracle by Fabio Lestrani. And the Rumi Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and the artist is Rasuli. This is my February envelope, and so my experience. You know, those people, there are those types of people that really love to fight. You know, they get excited about it. You know, they like to argue, they like to debate, and they like to pull sometimes people into that energy, and that's not my energy. You know, and I usually don't engage, but guess what Lucia did that day? You know, she engaged. I engaged, and I was not happy after that because I have autoimmune issues. You know, I was diagnosed with Lyme, and when I get upset and I get dragged into drama, it affects me emotionally, and when I get emotionally affected, it affects me physically. I don't feel well. I get flare-ups and stuff like that. So I was very upset with myself. I was very upset with the situation and upset with myself. So this is what I got. As I said, oh, I have my envelope. Let me go in there, you know, and see what I got. See if it resonates. See if it's healing for me. So I closed the door and I gave myself time and space, and I sat with these cards. And this is what I got from the Crow Tarot. I got the Strength card, the Knight of Wands, and the Hermit card. And I needed my strength because I did put my foot down, and I actually stepped away and said, I cannot do this. This isn't good for me. I'm not going to be engaging anymore with this conversation. Once I realized I was pulled in and I realized what was happening, because I kind of got into it not realizing it. You know? And so then I needed to take action because I went into hermit mode after that. You know, first of all, not feeling well, and then trying to process, you know, how did that happen? You know, how did it escalate, and how did it, you know, and then trying to process this and heal this because it brought up some past traumas for me, you know, and so I was into hermit mode. And then to get out of hermit mode, you need to break that with the Knight of Wands, with action. You have to take action. Once you process and you heal and you let go, you release, and then you take action to break the hermit cycle, because this can go on for longer sometimes, and we don't realize how long we can stay there. And that's something I learned about myself in the past, you know. And then I got this Bridget card number 25, Psychic Flames, 333, Sacred Milk, and Druid Magic. And look at the beautiful card, how beautiful this is. And when I read the book, this was all about protection of health. And so there is a ritual, you know, in the book. And that's what I like about this book. The healing, the Pure Magic Oracle, I'm sorry, this one right here, Pure Magic Oracle. And so I didn't have what I needed for this. So this one we make a cross out of sweetgrass. I didn't have sweetgrass, so what I did was I went into a deep meditation. And in my meditation, I visualized creating this cross for Bridget, for, you know, her to offer me protection for my health. And it was very healing for me. And then I did the same thing with this one. Card number 9, Vervain Everlasting. Spellbound, soul alignment, release, and protection. And this was also a protection card. I did not know vervain was a big plant for strong protection, and it had to do with protection from other people, like outside things. And this was just so perfect, and it so resonated. So far, all of these cards resonated with me. And so what I did was I went to the book, you know, I read about it, and then I did the spell or the ritual for this as well. And you take vervain and you put it in a glass jar, and you tie some different color ribbons that represent different things, and different color crystals. Whatever crystals you're drawn to, they give you a list of crystals. And I was like, I'm putting all of them in there in my visualization. Even though I have all the crystals, I didn't have ribbons, and I didn't have an extra jar, so bottle, actually, a glass bottle. I didn't have an extra glass bottle, so I visualized this one as well. And I went into deep meditation, and that was just such a beautiful way to release energy. And because when you do spell work or when you do anything spiritual kind of practice, it's all about intention. So you set the intention. I set the intention that whatever materials I was using, calling in the energies of the actual plant, calling in the energies of the actual crystals, and to amplify that energy. I set that intention. That's helpful for you if you ever wonder, oh, I don't have the materials that I need. That's something you guys can do as well. So, and then when I got to the Santa Muerte Oracle, these two cards. This card I found that was related to this card. And what blew my mind is that when I saw these cards, when I saw this card number 8, I felt like the skulls were connected to the lights and the hearts. I was so surprised, even though I'm not surprised because I had some experiences with synchronicities and stuff like that, but I was surprised. I mean, you still get surprised even though you have experiences like this. So card number 24, when I first looked at this, I felt like this could be ancestral energy, and but I also felt like this can be me, my growth, from young to older, and what I could become, and then I had this mirror and this globe, and I felt like this is also me looking at myself, my self-reflection, like what was my part in this whole thing. And that's exactly how I was feeling. And then we have the hearts that are lit up, and these colors remind me of the lower 3 chakras. The red for the root chakra, and it's in the heart, and orange for the sacral chakra, which is creation, and the root chakra is stability, and the gold for the solar plexus chakra, which is energy, and it's life energy. And this reminds me of light from source because it's like white, and then this healing pink light. So there's something very beautiful here and cosmic as well as ancestral for me. And then we have this skull here, and we have this white in the background, which to me reminds me of clear quartz crystal, and it reminds me of clearing. And then we have this gold again, this beautiful power that's healing. And what I feel like with this is like the smoke stands out to me, the smoke on the eyes, the smoke on around the mouth. And to me, I feel like that is about there's power in when we speak. We can hurt and we can also heal with our voice, when we speak with words. So I feel like this card, this is what it made me think about. And I feel like I needed to clear my energy, what I was feeling, what I was seeing, what I was sensing. So I got to the book and I couldn't believe it. In the book, when I look at card number 24, it mentions card number 8, the light card, number 8. And the message, the advice of the dead, I'll read that. I got, remember that you are the one in the present holding your future, and that if you want this future to be positive, you must first look inside yourself, because every action you decide to take in the world is nothing but a reflection of yourself. So if that helps anyone, if anyone can resonate with that, I wanted to share that with you. But for me, this really resonated because I was looking at what was my part in all this, because that's a big part of self-reflection, and that's one of the hardest things to do. And then I went to card number 8, and I will read the advice of the dead that I got for this one. I got a source of pure energy feeds and lights your journey. Proceed in your projects without hesitation. Any shadow will be dispelled. And I felt like that had to do with clearing my energy and then getting back to this, the action card, the Knight of Wands, which is the Knight of Fire. Because the wands are the fire, and the Knight is the fire of the fire. The Knights are the fire energy of the fire element. And so that couldn't be more perfect. And then I got the Rumi card number 11, Sacred Convergence. And when I look at this, I feel like right away I got like ancestors also. I got ancestral community, I got human, and I got spirit. I felt, like spirit guide, source. I felt like there's different worlds here, inner world, outer world. So when I went to the book for this card, I got, you are being asked to drop defenses and barriers towards groups of people that feel good for you. However, those that that dampen your spirit or drag you down are to be dispensed with, no matter what games of blame or manipulation they may play to keep you coming back for more. And that couldn't be more perfect, for me with this card and with the situation, and then I did the sacred honoring ritual, which is, I placed my hand on my heart and I said, the words that, I read the words to myself like a little prayer thing. And that was very healing and protective for me. So this is my February experience. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let's see what happens in March. If I have something to share, I'll share it, and if not, then I'll revisit this around August and let you know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.